The Cincinnati Reds. Very interesting year for them after making the playoffs last year. You added in free agency Eugenio Suarez to play third base, 1 year, $15 million. Pierce Johnson, a reliever, 1 year, 6.5. JJ Bleday, 1 year, 1.4. Caleb Ferguson, 1 year, 4.5. Emilio Pagan, 2 years for 20. You traded for Brock Burke from the Angels, Dusty Rivas from Seattle, Dane Myers from the Marlins. You lost Wade Miley, who's still a free agent, who's very up there in age. You lost Nick Martinez to Tampa Bay, a starter. Miguel Andujar, he's now with San Diego. Zach Luttrell, he's still a free agent. Austin Hayes, he went to the White Sox. Gavin Lux, you traded him to Tampa Bay. So with a bit of a changed roster, how do we think the Reds can capitalize on their 2025 playoff season?
I mean, this is your guys' team, so I'll let you talk a little bit more about it.
It's a bust for the Redlegs.
I mean, I'm excited, as everybody is, to watch Ellie whenever he plays. Cabrian Hayes, now the starting third baseman for this team for the full year. Suarez will be the DH. Do we see the power continue for Suarez? I think he could potentially have a big role on this team. And outside of Hunter Green, who steps up at pitching? Is it an Abbott? Is it Lodolo? Is it nobody? I think when you look at this team and the Pittsburgh Pirates, I think whichever one of them does better probably gets more consistency out of their 2 through 5 starting pitching wise.
Now, just to add on to that also, is just having a Hall of Fame head coach, Tito Francona, enough to keep them close? Or do we think last year might have been an outlier year and they're going to kind of fall back to being, a fringe playoff team, but one that doesn't actually make the playoffs? Like, are they that close to the Pirates?
I think they're close to the Pirates. Yeah. I mean, you could argue they're better than them.
I'm saying, are they a team vying for that 6th wild card, or are they a team that, at the end of the year, they'll be 6 games out of the playoffs, but had a nice season?
On paper, I don't know if you could say that they made some massive leaps, but I think the ceiling got higher.
And that's really what I'm asking is there a realistic path that they have a better team at 26 and 25, or do we see more regression than progression?
Well, you could argue, I'm trying to think through every team right now to make sure what I'm saying here isn't out of pocket completely, but I think I'm fine. You could argue, pitching aside, they have the best player in the division in Ellie De La Cruz. I
don't think that's crazy.
Best offensive player.
I mean, but what Ellie brings defensively too, I think, is really special.
Better than Skeens.
Well, that's why.
That's why I said pitching aside. That's why I said pitching aside.
Which is why it's not such a crazy. Because, if you go team by team, there's nobody on the Cubs like a Bregman or a Pete Crow Armstrong that would take over Ellie.
Yeah, I'm not taking O'Neill Cruz. Do you take a Churio? Probably not. Do you take a Yelich? Probably not at this point, especially as a fielder. And then the Cardinals, no. So,
I don't think it's outlandish.
No.
And you start with him as the leader of the team. If he can get the average and the pop a little bit higher, we know he's got the speed. We know he's got the defense. Cabrian Hayes, I think getting a full season here next to Ellie could be really important. You talk about the power numbers that Suarez can provide. Stevenson at catcher is a solid piece as well. I like their outfield. The ceiling for this team is certainly there. I do think that there are some better teams in the Central, though. I'll leave it at that before we get to predictions.